That's good. All right, man. What's going on? So today, I want to pronounce your first name right. You pronounce it for me.
Romel.
Romel. I have Romel Hopkins here, man. It's a pleasure. He was actually on the leaderboard, leaderboard for Top Step in terms of futures payouts. And Romel, what was that number as far as the futures payout?
Yeah, I topped out at number two on the leaderboard with a combined total of either my balance and payouts of $140,000.
Nice.
Yeah, and I was sitting right behind this guy named Dakota, who actually, I don't know if he works for Top Step, but he trades with the team live on their live stream on Top Step TV. He trades with them like pretty periodically, and so it just felt nice to be sitting like right under him.
Nice, nice, man. That's amazing. First and foremost, congratulations.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Now, with that, how much of that would is in profit?
Oh, all of that is the profit.
Oh, all of it. Okay, so 140, you said 140 something thousand?
Yeah, profit.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Oh man. Yeah, that's
Yeah, $140,000 profit in about less than 2 weeks.
Woo.
And I've cashed out about 70,000 of it.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so let's talk about it. I have a boatload of questions. So I'll save some of my like technical questions towards the end.
Hmm.
But if I could be wrong, you sound very chill, like very relaxed, very humble, very reserved. Am I somewhere in the ballpark with that?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because a lot of times what I come across and what we see online, especially in this trading space, something that's a pet peeve of mine is when people try to put the lifestyle over the education, right? So,
Mm.
we see people, oh, you could do this, you could do that, and they're taking pictures of doing this, and I'm all for that. But in terms of ranking the two, if you had to put like a scale of from 1 to 10, how important would you say the education process is to getting a six-figure payout like that versus chasing after the lifestyle?
The lifestyle follows the education. You can't achieve the lifestyle without the education. So the education is imperative, but it's not the only thing you really need. I would say the two I would say are equally important,
Mm,
but one is more important than the other. And I would say that you need the education, but then you also need your personal development
mm,
as a person. I've been trading for 8 years.
mm,
I know how to trade. I'm really a cut above the rest, and I do what I do very, very well and very, very precisely.
mm,
But mm, I was holding myself back because I had so many psychological issues, so many emotional issues and attachments to money. It's very hard to be successful when you're trading for money and you're risking money that you need to use. And and then you're caring about the P&L and that dollar amount, and then or say if you have an ego issue and you really want to be right on this trade, but now you're no longer right and it's losing.
mm,
It's the personal development is the last and final boss that every trader has to overcome, no matter how much education you have. So I would say it's like education, that's the journey. You're always going to learn, but you won't make it until you fix yourself. And
right.
then lifestyle will follow, you know. Um, I have two Instagram pages,
Uh,
one for trading and one in a personal one. I
mm,
post my lifestyle on my personal page. I don't
nice,
post it on my trading page.
nice, nice.
On my
Okay.
trading page, it's just all gains, profits, analysis, trades, trading material. And I
Mm,
try to keep the two separate. People who know me personally don't really know that I trade. People who know me as a trader don't really know me personally. and I
Wow.
keep my lifestyle in my personal life.
No,
Um, and so yeah, that's just like a quick, like overall kind of deeper answer to your question right there.
that's perfect. That's perfect. And it leads right into my next question. So, what are what are some of the things that help you with your personal development? What are some things that you're able to do outside of the charts, and some things that you kind of realize like that were holding you back about yourself?
You know, it's going to be different from person to person. For me,
Mm,
I used to think like, oh, I need an outlet. I need to have something to do so that way I'm not trading all day and all this kind of stuff. And that would help, but it's all temporary.
mhm,
I think what really helped me along my personal development was admission
mm,
of who I am.
mhm,
And it wasn't until I sat down with myself and I'm like, I'm really not a great trader. And because if I was, I wouldn't be trying so many, like, I wouldn't be trying still after 7 years. I would have made it. You hear the stories about people who make it after 3, 4 years. That's roughly typical.
mhm.
I've been going at it for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I've taught got it in 2 years and they're millionaires with their Lambos and their own academies.
Mm.
And here I am. I just raised up like two multimillionaire traders and I'm here still like, you know, asking my manager for overtime.
Right.
So
Oh.
so that's where I just was. I was just right there.
Mhm,
Um and so for me, it didn't click until I sat down with myself and I decided to be honest with myself because I'm like, I'm in this never ending cycle. And I
mhm,
said, I'm really not a good trader.
mhm,
Why? Or another way you could say it is like, I don't have the results that I want. Why? And
mhm,
then it led into, I must not be as good as I think I am. Why? And it turned out that it wasn't my technical analysis, wasn't my entries. I'm really superb on all of that. It's the fact that I had no self control with
mm,
position sizing.
mhm.
I I trained myself in being so precise as a trader that and I did so because I had no self control with position sizing. So I told myself, if I enter at the right price or particularly at the right time, then I can just put as much size on as I want.
Mhm,
And that's how I traded for a long time. You know, and to do that, you have to be really accurate, right? So it did help me become a good, trader from a technical analysis perspective, but you don't win every trade. So when I lose, I lost big.
mm,
So it wasn't until I decided to humble myself. I stopped buying the biggest funded accounts that you can buy, you
mhm,
know, trying to really make that one or those two really big trades. And I went and I bought the smallest one. I said, I'm precise enough to buy the smallest one and trade the least amount of contracts and still make it. And because I have the oversight, there's a risk management team at Top Step, and there's only so much that you can lose per day.
right.
It's because I had other people, looking out for me and saving me from myself every day. That is why I am where I'm at right now. You know,
Yeah.
if I had my own personal funds and my own personal account, I would not be here today.
I love it. I love it. So having that oversight, having that team that kind of like, here are the parameters, operate within these parameters. It
Mm-hmm.
helps you big time. Yes. That's really good. That's really good. So like and I can relate on so many different levels personally. Like I remember this had to be I want to say right as the US was opening back up. Um
Mm.
I had a student who came in, and he was from Africa. He came in and I just was telling him like everything, all the mistakes that I made. I was teaching him, but from a standpoint of like, look, here are the burns and the scars that I have. Like, so only do this. Trust me. And you run into those people every now and again who are like, you know what? I'm actually going to listen to you. I'm not going to go and just experiment on my own and all that stuff. So, based off his time zone, he was up during GBP USD. He was up during the London session because of the time difference. So I said, man, only trade. I said, just trade one thing, master GBP USD, journal your trades every day. And, let me know the results. Just keep up with me. Ask questions if you got them. He had probably about he asked me questions for about 2 weeks. Within 3 months, he was making $10,000 a month. And
Mhm.
during the time, I was like, wow, he's making more than me. Like, so that related so much when you were like, yeah, I raised up traders who were making more than you. But um, I believe it's something, really valuable about having that experience in real time. Um, and then you experience those big losses from those boneheaded decisions or whatever the case may be. So you have that wisdom that says, all right, I know what it looks like when I do this. Just let me stop doing this. Um, and that's something that when I got on Top Step, I realized, like how you're saying, they literally save you from yourself. They literally save you from yourself. So I think that's something that the squad can definitely benefit from. Now, in terms of trading, do you have like specific pairs or specific assets that you trade? Or are you kind of just like wherever the money is, wherever the opportunity is?
Um, I like to trade gold and NQ, NASDAQ.
Mm,
Lately, I've been trading a lot of NASDAQ. It just seems to be the thing that moves. It definitely makes the most money out of all of the um, future pairs or indices. It makes more than US 30 or Dow Jones, YM, whatever you call it. It
mm,
makes more than the S&P or ES.
mm.
It makes more than gold. And if I ever have an opportunity to get a precise entry on NQ Nasdaq, I will. But I do look at gold as well, just because that's where I come from. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. And with that, what time, if you don't mind me asking, what time frame, do you mark up on and enter from? What time frames do you mark up on and enter
Um, I do technical analysis from the 1 hour and below.
from?
Literally all the way down to the 1 minute if I have to.
Mm,
My favorite time frame for technical analysis is usually 1 hour, 30 minute, 15 minute. Spend a lot of time on the 30 minute chart.
okay.
Um, for entries though, like once I have analysis done, uh, here's what I do, and here's what I teach my people.
Mm,
When I'm trying to enter a trade, I'm scoping out a trade. I already have my analysis done, waiting for candlesticks to close or whatever.
mm,
The time frame I'm on is dependent on what time it is.
mm,
So I am going to spend my time watching whatever time frame is next to close, the next highest time frame to close,
mm.
because all of the trading is being done for that specific time frame.
Okay. So
So
this,
so
okay.
here's some
Go ahead.
examples. Are you ready?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Mhm.
Okay. So some examples of this is like, let's just say it is 7:02 a.m.
Uh-huh.
The next highest overall time frame that's about to close, the next one is the
Mm,
5 minute chart at 7:05.
mm,
Then from 7:05 to 7:10, it's still the 5 minute chart.
mm,
Now though, once we start after it's 7:10, the next highest time frame that's going to close is the 15 minute. So
mm.
my eyes are going to be on the 15 minute chart. So every 15 minute interval, once we start getting closer to it, we're about 5 minutes away or less. That's the time frame I'm looking at.
Okay.
Then say we start getting to the half hour mark.
Mm.
I'm going to be looking at the 30-minute chart instead of the 15.
Ah, okay.
Or I might look at them in conjunction to see if they're correlating, whatever.
Mm. See if it's,
Um,
oh,
you
okay.
know, and then after the 30-minute chart is over, it's 7:31. What time frame am I going back to?
So
The
you're going,
5 minute,
okay. The
because it's
seven
about
minute.
to be 7:35. That's the next time frame that's gonna close. And then I try to keep track of like the 4 hour chart, but I don't really go on that too often. And so that's how I monitor and fluctuate between time frames. I use them all. There's no one special specific time frame.
Okay. So it's like an overall confluence.
Yeah, it's yeah. It's an
Okay.
overall confluence, and then based on your analysis, based on what time it is in the market, you
Mhm.
know, you, you're gonna be on a certain time frame, just depending, and then if you want to scale in your entries, I always go down to the 1 minute chart, and then I just enter.
Okay. That's very good. That's a key right there. That's a key. So look, when y'all listen to this, make sure you write that down. That's a major key. Um, so like for instance, okay, so let me just let's say it's seven, let's say you've confirmed, you got some movement on the 15:30, and let's just say it's 9:57 a.m. And then so you're looking now at that 1 hour chart for that 10
Mm-hmm.
for that 10 o'clock candle.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
I'll, and what I'm looking for, I think that's another quick thing to add.
Mhm,
It's one thing to look at the chart, it's another thing to know what you're looking for.
mhm,
I'm just looking to see where this candle is going to close. Um, and I can gather a lot of information
mhm,
about what direction the market will move overall for the day,
mhm,
just based on how these very crucial candles during these crucial times or at crucial prices are going to close. Does this 1 hour candle, like let's just say if price traded up way above a resistance for
mhm,
the majority of the hour, but now before the hour ends, this candle has come back and closed below resistance.
mhm,
If you go on a lower time frame, this may look like price broke out to the upside, and then it came back down and was testing support. And the average trader might think that they want to take this trade up.
yeah. Mm,
But because you waited for the candlestick to close, you waited for that hour, you saw this huge, this candle coming back and close. Now it's a completely different story. The 1 hour candle has now printed a large wick at the top, showing that price went really high, but wasn't strong enough to close up there. So they lost, like buyers lost that whole exchange. And there's probably a very imminent move to the downside that's about to happen
mm,
because the 1 hour candle is very weak.
yeah,
And so it's just like you that's why using all of them together is so crucial, so important.
that is a technical
Nugget.
gem. That's a big gem. That's a big gem right there. Man, okay, I'm visualizing now. You got me about to pull up a chart, man, because I
Mm-hmm.
can see exactly what you're talking about. Okay. So now is there ever a time like how do you base how many contracts you trade? Do you go, hey, I feel confident about this. I'm about to put all my contracts in now in one move, or do you like scale like leg them in based
Both. Both. There's some setups that I see and I
on
instantly recognize them. I
mm,
will go full on as many contracts as I'm allowed to trade, which is typically just five. I
mm,
don't really trade more than five contracts.
okay.
Um, well, that's all I've been allowed to trade.
Yeah.
They might increase that. I don't know. I need to talk to them.
Mm,
Um, so if that's not the case, then I will always do two contracts. I'm pretty risky enough to just drop two contracts off rip. I
mm,
will risk. I will gladly risk $300, $500
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I will gladly take that loss if price, say if I want to get into a sell, I'll gladly take that loss if price keeps going higher.
Right.
Because I know, and it's just me, I can't say the same for someone else, but I know
Mm-hmm.
that the market's about to sell. So it's just giving me a higher price, you
Yeah.
know. And if I see something, I'll let it go up a little bit. And then if I see something else that looks interesting, I'll go ahead and test it again. I'll test another, I'll risk another $500.
Mm-hmm.
I can I have a $3,000 loss limit.
Yeah.
So I do that until I get to about maybe the most I'll do is like maybe like $1,500 in losses.
Mm-hmm.
And then usually the way it just works out is that sort of last couple entries tends to be like right where I need to be. It
Yeah.
gives me a decent enough cushion. I got $1,500 left,
Mm-hmm.
and market will start to go. I scale in as many contracts as I can, and then I'm in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I will gladly take small losses um in just to test because you never know, it might just take off from that level, but I'll gladly take small losses if it means I'm getting a better price. But that only works if you're right, that only works if you're right.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I like the approach. I like the approach for sure. Now, question: when you trade these, up to five contracts, are you doing, the micro contracts or just
Standard.
regular standard? Okay. 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 So, oh yeah. Okay. Your entries are very precise. Are
Yes.
okay. Are very, very precise. All right. I like that. I like that for sure. Sniper entry. Okay, for sure.
Mhm.
All right. And now for you, do you tend to are you more of like a scalper or you tend to like let me just hold whatever the market gives me if I see a big gap or anything for it to fill or if I see it has a long way down or a long way up, I'm riding the whole thing, or are you like, look, as long as I hit
uh
I'm out of there.
all of it. I try to scalp less. That mentality really hurts me
Hmm.
because I know you can get in and get out of the market at any time of the day and make $1,000.
Hmm.
Um, but that mentality really hurts me because you're not going to win every trade.
Hmm.
So I try to just intraday trade, hold my trade for a couple hours. What I love to do the most,
Hmm.
and this happens once or twice a week, I love to get in at the high or the low of the day during London session or sometime before New York session.
Hmm.
And so for my time zone, Pacific Standard Time, I'm always going to be looking for an entry at around maybe at London opening bell just to catch a quick move.
Hmm.
Then I'll revisit the market, see what it looks like at 1:30.
Hmm.
If it, and I'll revisit it and see what it looks like at 3:30 in the morning, and then again at 4:30 in the morning. Typically, somewhere around 3:30 and 4:30 in the morning tend to be really good areas to get into a trade um, before New York session actually kicks in. And there's been multiple instances last week where I got into a trade overnight and the entirety of New York session traded like say above my entry. I never had to worry about entering. I just held it for the whole day. So
Okay.
those are the best days. But those type of days really only happen once or twice a week. It depends on the market conditions.
Okay. Okay, for sure. Now, when you say 3:30, 4:30, you mean Pacific time?
Yes, in the morning. Mhm.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Okay. So for East Coast people, that's 6:30, 7:30. So right before that 8 o'clock, right before that New York um, volume starts to come in. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. All right. And on those type days, do you find it's moving like that? do those days usually happen like with news, or is it more so just like a random, hey, the market just happened to be, like at this supporting this found support at a daily order block or a 4 hour order block or something? Is it more so
Uh,
news?
it's more so. It depends. It could be a news day, but it's really more so just where price is overall from the overall market structure perspective. What phase are we in?
Mm,
Um, at this time during the week, right? There's certain weekly setups. You have weeks where the market moves Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You have weeks where the market moves Monday, Tuesday, consolidates on Wednesday, and then or just like it might move Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then stop during the end of the week, or it might be very slow Monday and Tuesday,
mm,
and then manipulate on Wednesday, and then go crazy on Thursday and Friday. As the week is unfolding, you can kind of start to see how the week is supposed to unfold. You usually have about two very great days during the week of price action, two to three good days, and then you have two crappy days.
okay.
And so, depending on which day of the week did what, it's hard to predict at the beginning of the week. But now that we're here in Wednesday,
Yeah.
and the markets went crazy today, we have more news, I think, tomorrow.
Hmm.
And then the end of the week on Friday. Monday was an inside day. Tuesday was a breakout day, I think.
Yeah.
Wednesday was another breakout day. And so that's what was my prediction. Since we had so much news in the middle of the week, I thought that the middle of the week would be the prime time. So now I'm thinking Thursday,
Mm,
we're gonna slow down and we might have hopefully a short squeeze on Friday, a sell off on Friday. I always take a trade in the opposite direction of whatever the market trended during the week. So if we're just going up this week, I'm 100% taking sells on Friday.
okay. Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Can't. Oh
because because that's the end of the week, right? And every candlestick has to make the wick. So Friday is the only opportunity we have to make the wick on the weekly candles before they close. So typically 65-70% of the time, Fridays are reversal days. So whatever the market did overall for the week, Friday will usually do the opposite.
nice. Nice. Now, when you do that and you're basically going off like a weekly pattern, is that
Mm-hmm.
a time where you go, hey, let me like, do you still wager the same amount of contracts or leverage the same, or is that more like a low risk, high reward type move for you?
Uh, same stuff.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm gonna drop the same amount of contracts. If I make $2,000-$3,000, okay, cool. If I make $18,000, okay, cool.
perfect, perfect. Okay, cool. Now, and so what was that leap that you felt like it took? What was that leap that you felt like you took that helped you go from, maybe let me ask this question first.
I
What,
already know the answer. I already know what you're trying to ask.
yeah.
All right.
What was that leap that helped you break out of, because
Yeah.
sometimes you go from struggling to profitable, but then have you ever
Hmm.
found yourself like in a range, like
Yeah.
I'm between here and here, what helped you
Yeah.
break?
Okay. Well, I mean, so I've had money before. I've made a lot of money. I made, and people, not everyone will have this experience. I made 2.3 million in 2021 in crypto,
Sheesh. Okay. Okay.
and but I lost it all.
Oh, whoa.
Like all of it. I cashed a lot of it out. I had money. I lived on it for 2 years. Did
Mm.
did my thing, but I lost a lot of it though, in crypto. When the market just went bad. So, but recently though, what got me there and what really helped solidify the stability of making the money over and over.
Mm.
Because this time around, it didn't just come by just a random like sort of lottery event. This is coming by consistent iterations of displaying that I can trade. Like I had so far in the past 10 days, I've had three, like, almost 40K days,
Mm,
right?
nice. Yeah.
So, what happened that really made me feel so secure mentally and emotionally and psychologically as a trader to help me continue to do what I uh, did
Yeah.
was when I made my first like 10,000 on the account.
Mm,
Um, First of all, I was copy trading multiple accounts. That I think helps a lot.
mm,
So you can rest assured that, okay, if you have 5 accounts copy trading, and you make $2,000 for the day, that's reasonable.
mm.
That's 10 bands.
Yeah.
So mentally in the back of my mind, I'm looking at like, okay, $1,500 right here. Okay, yeah, $3,000 right here. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm multiplying. I'm like, yo, I just had a 10K day.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so that's cool. This is really doable. This is
Uh,
I I could do this every day. Then the next thing that happened was once I got the account up and I was chilling at like $20,000 in each account.
mm,
Uh, and I realized that at that time, the most that I could lose every day, because they're not going to allow me to lose more than this, was $1,000. And so then that it really started to click. I'm like, I'm thinking about, okay, I have to lose 20 days back to back to back to back in order to lose this little $50 funded 50K account that I bought,
yeah. Love
right?
it.
I have to lose 20 days. I have to lose what is that? 4 weeks
Yeah.
straight,
For
no
we
wins.
max losses.
And huh?
I
Yeah,
said
max
max losses.
loss.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So I was like, when I sat back, actually, like I like I was leaned forward, really thinking about this, looking at the dashboard, and I'm like, I'm about to start my trading day, and I'm like, so you mean to tell me no matter how bad I do today, no matter how much I mess up, unless I like take a really bad trade in news and it gaps, that might hurt me, right? You might
Yeah.
lose more than the K, you might lose three or something before they close you out.
Mm,
But just under normal conditions, I'm like, no matter how bad I do today,
mm,
I'm going to walk away with $19,000. And I had 3 accounts. So
ooh,
I had three accounts chilling at 60K at that time.
mm,
And so like okay, so I'm like, this is it. Like I made it because I average about 5K a day.
yeah.
Uh and I'm about to have 5 accounts next week,
Mm,
that I'm going to try to do. But averaging 5K a day, that's $25,000 a day. That's 125,000 a week, and that doesn't include those one-off big days where I might make 20K in a day per account.
per account.
Yeah,
So that's 100K day, basically. That's
yeah,
nuts. So,
and and so having the oversight of that company is so worth it because it protects you from yourself. You know,
yes. Yeah, they build the risk management in for you.
yeah.
They build. So you said something that I think a lot of, well, I know a lot of people run from, and I'm sure, you deal with people teaching and whatnot. And it's that how you logically thought through losing.
Hmm.
So many people run from losing that it's like they're trying to build a car and they never think, okay, what if the car crashes? Let me have airbags. Let me put seatbelts in the car. It's like, no, I
Hmm.
don't want to think of that. Just positive, positive, positive. So they risk tremendous risk, no risk management. But then when a loss happens, they don't know how to deal with it. But the way you just sit here and let us know your thought process when it comes to like reasoning with losses, is like it becomes a sense of security. Like how you said, I can't, I got to do a lot of messing up to mess this up. I got to mess up a ton. And I think more people need to have that approach. Like, I like to say, let me calculate the risk and then calculate the reward. Right. So I'm able to look at the risk and go, yeah, I can stomach this risk. If it all goes to crap, I can deal with that result. And
Right.
with the wins are the wins. So thank you for, taking time to speak and talk through that because that's super important. A lot of people I know run from, like, I've seen people when I remember my first ever client that I taught, won like 6, 7 trades in a row, and they were well in the
And thought they thought they thought it was over. They thought
yeah,
that it was there. Yeah,
right. I'm talking about
losing streaks happen.
yeah, no, they won 6, 7 in a row, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and they lost one and quit.
Oh,
Like, and it was a loss that was like stop loss in. It didn't blow their account, nothing. They were still an overall profit. They were like they just that loss scared them so much they just stopped. And that was probably 2019. That was 2019, and to this day, she still watches all my content, my stories, and occasionally be like, "Yeah, I need to get back into trading," but it's just like, man, take time to stomach the loss. Like if some of the losses, just roll with it, go with it. What was one of the things that helped you to kind of stop? Well, let me ask you this first: are you more of a natural risk taker, or are you somebody who's like more conservative by nature?
yeah, yeah. I'm a risk taker, bro. I'm not. I used to not understand
Um,
the concept or really appreciate rather the concept of stability.
mhm.
Uh, that I had to learn that the hard way, what it means to be stable. And so yeah, I'm naturally a risk taker. I'm like living life itself is a risk, love is a risk, everything's a risk. You know, believing in God or whatever religion you want to believe in is a risk.
Yeah, it is risk.
It's like, there is a guarantee you're gonna die one day. So I'm like, I want to try to break as many records as I can with my life.
Uh-huh.
Uh, if I can be a billionaire, not because I need to be, it would just be cool.
Yeah, I
Then
know.
then I'll be one. Or I just there's so much in life to explore and
Uh,
to experience that like it doesn't seem. I mean, in my personal opinion, I don't see why one person can live 70 years and another person can live 70 years, but they experience completely different lifestyles.
mm,
So it's like, you're if you can spend $50,000 on a private jet to go to Dominican Republic, then I can do. Am I
yeah,
going to? Probably not, but I could. I want to be able to. It just seems cool. Or it's like, hey, you're going to the country club on a Tuesday morning. Okay, I want to do that. I don't want to go to work,
right.
or hey, you're grilling on a Monday, bro. The weekend is over. It's like, no, I want to be able to grill outside in my backyard and feed my family on a Monday.
There you
I want to.
go.
I just want to be able to say like I have that flexibility and that freedom, and I'm able to experience, and I do experience what I want to experience. I only have this life to live, and then hopefully there's an afterlife, right? But so with that said, I'm just naturally like, if you're not taking a risk, then you're wasting the biggest risk that you are taking already, and that's living life.
Yes, yes, and whew, wasting time.
Yeah.
Wasting time. Yes, that's beautiful right there. That's beautiful. So, like in terms of, because I'm a natural risk taker too. Um, have you ever had those moments where you're in a trade and you're like, I know it's gonna go this way,
Yep.
and
Yep.
like it hasn't
Monday.
been confirmed yet. Like it, or but like it might be. Let's say you're supposed to be waiting on the 15-minute candle to close, so it's 5:42, right? Or let's say 8:42, and you know you're supposed to wait for that 15-minute candle close. Have you ever just looked at it at 8:40? I know it's gonna go this way. Bam. Let me max out my position. And then have you ever been in that situation? And
Yeah, yeah. I was.
opposite
You said what?
I said it just goes the opposite way on you.
Uh, I'd say like maybe 20% of the time. Not that often. It did today, but not often. Um, I was I had a position like that on Monday this week.
Mhm.
So like it's Wednesday for whoever's listening. So yeah, so just on Monday,
Mhm.
I was in a trade and I was actually quite close to my loss limit. I would have hit my loss limit. They would have taken me out. I kid you not,
Mhm.
like no exaggeration. I think I was one tick away. Uh, but I knew I entered at such an extreme, and it was just one of those things where it's like it's not worth it for me to close my position or try to scale out and re-enter.
Mhm.
This is just going to be one of those days where either I win it or I lose it.
Yeah.
And so I held, and I ended up making 42K. That was on Monday.
Goodness.
And just for the record, the way that I trade as well,
Uh-huh.
at least these days, I don't enter with confirmation. I don't wait for confirmation. I enter at the level and at the price where I know the market should have a reaction.
I got okay.
And yeah, so I don't wait for the reaction to occur.
Mhm.
Like if price is going up, I'm going to sell it as it's going up. If price is coming down, I'm going to buy it as it's coming down. That's how I prefer to trade. Very rarely do I take a breakout trade. I know how to do it, take a breakout as price is coming below a support or above, but I usually trade the primary way as described.
Okay, perfect. You know what? Now it's funny you say that because like I do that a lot, but I know it's like I can't teach that. You know what I'm saying? Like you,
Yeah, it's one of those things you have that comes with the experience. You
yeah,
can't teach why you should be entering at this particular moment
yeah,
without any
yeah,
confirmation. It's just you watch the market after so long and you understand how that pair moves, you
yes,
know. You know that by the time you enter this trade, within the minute, you should be in profit.
right, right,
Those are the kind of executions we're talking about. And
yeah,
then once you're in profit, you're like, okay, now you're just managing the position,
yes,
you know. And
yes,
then and it makes it very easy. Typically the price will trade, away from your entry. So you won't go in profit, then in a loss, then in profit, then in a loss, back and forth with these type of extreme entries.
right,
Um, and then, as the price is doing whatever it's doing, you can kind of tell if it will continue to go in your favor or if it might come back against you, and then you can get out.
right. Yeah, that's oh man, good times, good times. It's so funny hearing you say that because I'll find myself in situations like okay, like we had a day where I believe it was not this it's about 2 weeks ago. We made a move on options with SPY, and I saw it drop like when I'm usually giving signals to the team, about 80% of the time it's SPY, or we might take like an earnings play or something like that with options. So I'm watching SPY all the time. And then when big news happens, I'm typing on my chart like the level that it happened at, like, hey, this news happened, this, that, and the third. So we watched SPY back drop back down to like 521 or something crazy like that. And no confirmation or anything. I'm like, y'all enter now. Like enter now. And then enter again. And then enter again. So we took three calls that day, three signals. And we had one of our members who took them all, and she ended up hitting her first four-figure day. And when I was like, okay, now how am I going to explain this? Because it's like, I think that's the benefit of not hopping on just any and every chart. when you're locked in with maybe one to two charts and you've been clocking them and seeing how they're moving for the past several months, you like, I know it's not going past this level because I remember when that level was being built and what happened there. So just I say that and I emphasize that because we have a lot of new people who come in and they're like, hey, do you trade this? Do you trade that? And it's like they jump from thing to thing to thing to thing on YouTube. And it's like because they saw something or they saw somebody talk about it, and it's like, hey, that person's able to do that. Ask that person how many assets or how many pairs they trade. And I
Yeah.
promise you, it's not going to be 15.
It's gonna be one or two.
Yes. It's never going to
Yeah.
be 15, and I want to emphasize that because like we'll have people who, hey dude, what about this, hey, what about that, and it's like you're never going to know how anything moves because if you lose one trade on it, if you lose one trade on SPY, you're jumping to whatever. If you lose one trade on whatever, you're jumping to crypto. You lose a trade on crypto, you're jumping to the next thing. You don't get a chance to see how
Hmm.
the chart moves. So
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Every every instrument or thing that you trade
uh,
has different nuances, and yes, there is overall general trading principles that the market ideally in a perfect world would like to follow, right? That we learn. But when you go from, say, forex speaking, when you go from like GBP USD
mm,
to AU or no Euro USD, or then you go maybe Euro AUD or Euro JPY and GBP JPY. Like everything's gonna move a little differently,
mhm,
and what that difference is, it's going to be when price is breaking a support. How does it break? When
mm,
price is approaching a resistance, how does it react? And each pair or whatever you're trading is going to typically react differently. So, whereas one pair may fake out very often, another one may not.
yeah,
Or whereas one pair may have very clean breakouts of support and resistance, another pair may not. It may take a little bit of a buildup, or it may flip above and below the resistance multiple times before it breaks out, and you don't want to get psyched out. It's so and so one thing I like that you just said was how you have traders who've been watching the markets for a while. There's some trades that people take and win simply because they have experienced what the market did.
mhm,
And sometimes at certain price levels, I see the price level and I'm like, oh, I know what happened at 19,100 on NAS all last week.
yeah,
Of course I'm gonna buy,
right,
but no one, you wouldn't know that if you weren't there watching the markets and understanding, you know, what regions are strong buys, what regions are strong sells. You can do analysis and go back and look, but it's just different when you were there to experience it and you were there in the moment and you saw how quickly price was reacting off this level. And so you just know, you have that gut feeling that something's about to happen. And
mm,
so it's very important that for people, find something that you want to master, a pair you want to master, a trade you want to master, um, and then stick on it and
mm,
watch it, date it, spend some
yeah,
time with it, and
yeah,
get to understand how it moves, what it likes, what it doesn't like, you know?
mm,
And that way you know how to treat it in the future so it treats you well.
there you go. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. What do you say for the people who are going to listen to this and say, but I'm at work though. I can't just sit and watch the computer all day because I'm working. I have children. I have
Yeah.
that. What do you say to them?
Not gonna lie, that's a tough one. I was just talking to someone just before I hopped on here about that. And my answer is like you gotta figure it out.
Mm,
you There's no real workaround unless you have a decent schedule and you do have the flexibility to trade a certain session. It might not be the session you want to trade, but let's just say you're able to trade the Asian sessions in the afternoon.
mm.
Then for this season, you need to figure out how to trade Asian session.
Yeah.
You may not make as much as the rest of us, but you can for surely make, quite a few $100 or $1,000 during Asian session trading futures. That's enough to
Yeah.
get you to where you need to be. But my answer is honestly just like you have to figure it out. Um, I had a job. I made sure that I had a job where I all I had to do was sit down.
Yeah.
So I worked security at a HOA,
Mhm.
and I worked at the main gate, just checking in visitors,
Uh,
and I worked the graveyard, so ain't nobody visiting.
right.
They so I had my laptop, and guess what I was doing? I was teaching people, and I was trading London session.
Mm.
I got off work at 6 o'clock in the morning, just in time for New York session. I would drive home real quick, trade New York session. Or maybe I take a nap, come back in, trade the second half of New York session. Whatever I did, whatever I had to do, I made sure that I put myself in a position to where I was able to um, spend time being faithful to what I know I want to do with my life and do with for my future. Some people would look at that and say that that's not right because you're supposed to have integrity when you're on the clock, you do your job, you know. And I'm like, I get it, but the way I'm set up, I don't want to be here. I want to be somewhere else.
For
And
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you just really have to figure that one out. There's nothing I can say about that.
Yeah. It speaks to the level of faith that you have, though. The level of faith that you had to set up your life, like you said, around what you wanted to do. What I
Yeah.
find is people typically they'll see a certain level of success and they'll want that, but then they set up their life to just let life happen to them. So it's like, oh, I can't do this. So they have this, it's a lack of faith where they go, well, I have children, I have this, I have that. And it's funny because I don't know how old you are. Um,
25.
oh yeah, you're 25. So I remember when my first child was born, I was studying because I was like, okay, I need something that I can make money from outside of trading. Before that, I was just doing trading. I'm like, okay, and I want to make sure she has benefits, all this good stuff, yada yada yada. So I remember being in the hospital, like I was helping the doctor pull her out, and I had my laptop right there, right? I'm like, does the hospital have Wi-Fi? If so, hook me up. I'm taking a trade the same day, the same hour that my child is born, and studying for an insurance exam. So I look at that, and I don't have any excuses for it. But like you said, I picked something. I was thinking during that job search, I need something where I can work remote first and foremost. I don't want nobody just micromanaging me all around me. So I can have my trading laptop on the side while I take my calls and do whatever. So I would be literally talking to customers, selling them a policy, and then I would have my screen pulled up. And when the time I would get off would be right when the Asian session was about to start, which is around 7 p.m. for us. And I would be like, okay, I got to master AUD USD in this season because that's what's going to be able to pay me while I'm working this job. And then I switch my schedule to be able to get the early part of the New York session. So I start really rocking with EU. But it was similar to what you're saying. I know what I want to do, and I want to frame my life around that. So that way it's not an excuse. I'm not going to set up a life I don't want and then say, hey, all these things that I don't want are in the way of the thing that I actually do want, which is that's
Right.
crazy to me. But people do it so often. But the beautiful thing with trading is it's 24 hours. So like you said, you know, be willing to see, hey, if this is the time I got to work from this time to this time and I'm active at work, I need to master master the instrument that's moving when I'm not at work. and
Yeah.
and keep it that simple. Um,
Yeah.
that's big.
And
What?
two things I would add to
Mm,
is you have to know that your reason as to why you're doing this is strong enough.
mm,
It
yeah.
it because this is not for the faint of heart. You have to have a very, very strong reason as to why you are pursuing this career because it's going to cost you a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
It's going to cost you your mental, your emotions, your money, your time that you won't get back, you know,
Right.
like, but so to stick with it, your reason has to be strong enough. And kind of similar to you, like, but my reason, I don't have kids yet, but my reason was I had a nightmare. Well,
Mm,
it felt like a nightmare
mm,
that one day I was walking out the door, suit and tie, briefcase in hand, and I think it was a daughter or something, and asked me, "Hey, Daddy, are you gonna come to my game or whatever?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, sweetie. Actually, I have a pretty important business meeting or business trip or engagement, but I'll make it up to you. We can go do something else." And that kid looked so let down,
mm, mm.
and I like woke up. I like, because that's not what was important to that child. What
Right.
was important was that, was I going to show up to what was important to them, be present.
Yeah.
And that was why I started trading. Well, that's why I started trying to find ways to make money without having to trade my time for money. And that's a really important why, and it stuck with me. And the older that I've gotten, and the more close that I start to get to the pending reality of children, and I'm like, the seriousness really it starts to get crunch time, and it's like, look, are you gonna make it or are you not?
Right.
Because
Right.
you can't keep trying this forever. And so that's one. So like whatever your reason is, make it a strong one. Otherwise, you know just do this for what it is, make a couple extra bucks and call it a day.
Right.
And then the other thing that I would add is that what was it, your why has to be strong. Oh, be real with yourself. You have to know whether or not you're cut out for it.
Mm,
And
mm.
that's probably the one harsh thing that I'll say today.
Now, how do you, now? Okay, I wanna. Look, I wish you could see my face because I'm like, okay. How do you? What are the characteristics of somebody who's not cut out for it? I'm gonna give you I'll give you a few after you give me a few. I want to see if we're on the same page.
All right. Okay. Someone asked me a question
Mm,
and was like, um, "Hey, Romel, how do you set up the oh no, okay. Actually, this just happened today. A dude asked me, "Hey, Romel, this 165 right here, uh, on this account or whatever, it says it's $50 right now. Is this 165 like how much it'll be after I'm funded or blah blah blah?" I don't know. Just basically simple questions.
mm.
Simple questions you should be able to figure out on your own. I think that's what I just want to get to before I get irritated, because what you're doing on the goal is for you to be able to go here and read something that's not in English, make sense of it, and pull money out from it. And you have to research and interpret this ideally on your own so you can be self-sufficient. Because what's the point of depending on somebody who can get hit by a car and die? You know,
Mm, mm,
um, like if that's your goal, you're not gonna make it. Like you have to want to do this on your own at some point. That has to be the goal. And so it's like, or say like, oh hey, how does the profits work, or how does like once you make money, how much of that do you get to keep?
oh,
I'm like, I get it. I'm here. It's convenient, but there's a section on all of these websites that says FAQs, and you can go and look up the question yourself.
Yeah. Oh God. Look.
So basically what I'm saying is like one major characteristic is like if someone isn't willing to put in the initial work to find the answer.
Googleable questions. Google.
Google, especially if they're Googleable questions. Now, all the other questions, that's fine. You have to ask questions. You have to have mentors. You have to have that engagement. That's what we're here for. But don't ask me no dumb question. And if you do, I'm gonna give you like one more chance, and then I gotta tell you, like, bro, you might not. I don't want to teach you personally.
Oof. Yeah. Hey. Look. Look. And it's crazy that you say that because look, that's my initiative. You got to take initiative, and I feel like there's that fine line between initiative, but also not letting pride get in your way, where you don't ask questions. But like the people who I've noticed, who there's two types right here. The person who didn't move because they say, hey, I didn't want to move until I talked to you first. Like, or like you gave them the instructions, they have everything, but it's like, hey, yeah, I wanted to talk to you face to face, or I wanted to do X, Y, and Z. So I just didn't do anything. And like they'll let 2 weeks go by.
Yeah,
And then it's
there,
like,
there's a parable in the Bible about that. Uh, a man gave three different people different amounts of money, and one of them went and flipped it. Another one made a little bit of money, nothing too crazy, and then one of them did nothing at all because he was fearful. And to make a long story short, the one that was fearful got everything that he was given taken from him, and it was given to the one who was given more. And just point blank period is that if you would have done something and failed, you would
mhm,
have been rewarded for
yes,
attempting. You
yes.
gained nothing without attempting. You don't even gain knowledge. You're stagnant. If you're willing to be stagnant on your own, then I can't help you because that just means I'm gonna be stagnant with you.
And to
You know,
rational expectation.
like and then also like another thing, like for the person who let's just say like they're a person that's purely driven off motivation,
Mhm.
and motivation is fleeting. Oh man, everyone's making money. Let me get in. Let me woo 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 woo. And then, but let's just say, okay, dry spell. However much time goes by, they don't do nothing. They don't research nothing. They don't trade. They don't hit you up. Nothing. But let's just say you pop back out. It was like, oh man, and then now they get re excited and reignited. I
Yeah,
don't like that. It's like what were you doing when I was away?
right.
Oh, your motivation went away. Okay. So then why am I gonna take my time and pour into you when you weren't even taking your own time and pouring into yourself, even just a little bit? You didn't learn anything while I was away. You didn't even try. You didn't, you never marked up a chart and sent it to me. Like it's just but you expect me to teach you and mentor you one on one for
Oh,
free
yeah,
because you're my homie.
yeah.
Nah, I'm sorry.
Yes, yes. That man, that's it just goes to show it just goes, I'm a big believer in like, like I said, it's nothing new under the sun. Um, different spirits appear in different shapes and forms. And so it's funny because look, we've never talked before today, and I've dealt with some of these things, and it's the same. Anytime I notice in a process somebody's trying to speed to the money part, it's like they try to set up a I remember a guy, he was like, how do I set up my account? How do I set up my account? Now I have videos with accounts set up to literally walk you through step by step how to set up the account. He would call me on FaceTime, and we had a mutual friend. Like I knew his dad, and he was cool, one of my friends. So, I'm trying to take some time out with him. I'm on FaceTime helping him get set up. So I said, all right, now go watch the videos. He literally just skimmed through the videos to see how to enter and exit a trade. So he put money into the market, and was losing left and right and hits me up after he was blown through all of his money within about 2 or 3 days and says, "Man, I don't know what's going on. They took my money. They took my money. I ain't even do nothing, bro. I didn't press anything." So I said, "All right." I said, "Cool. Let's get on a Zoom call." I said, let's go to your trade history. So he ended up acting like he couldn't log in. So I said, "Give me your account login." We went to his trade history and I could literally see where he manually clicked. You could see when he took the trades and he was just looking at me with the stupid face. And I was like, "You didn't even take the time out to watch an educational video or anything. You were so driven by the money portion that you thought the knowledge, the know-how, all of that stuff, it didn't matter."
Yeah.
And I hate when people manipulate themselves and deceive themselves into believing if I just want the money enough, it's going to come to me because
Nah.
I are the money. I hate that.
Yeah. That is actually, bro, trading is a Chinese finger trap. The more you try to get out of it, the more stuck you get. So like the more you want the money, the harder it's gonna be to make. And that was what I experienced. I would save up, as much money as I can and YOLO it and just try to hit. I would I would if I was gonna go to funded route, I wouldn't humble myself and buy the cheapest account that I can reasonably afford. I would try to save and get the most expensive one. And I'm spending $800, $900, you know, and buying these accounts and blowing them over and over and over and over and over. Why? Because I want the money. I'm in a very desperate situation. I was homeless, all these other things. My dad died. Woo up the woo. How am I gonna take care of myself? Like, and a lot of stuff happened, and it's real.
Mhm.
But I have like a mentor by the name of Tori,
Um,
who introduced me to futures, to be honest, because I come from the forex background, and she
mhm.
was like, "Yeah, don't come over here to futures. You ain't gonna go nowhere. You ain't even gonna think about forex once you come back to futures." And she's right.
Yeah.
Um, and but she told me, like, don't worry about the money. Like, don't worry about the money. And I really had to spend time around her to literally I've witnessed her making $1 million in one day
Yowza.
and then taking her kids to daycare,
Mhm.
going to work, doing her job, getting off work, picking up her kids, coming home, cooking dinner, talking to us, teaching us the whole day, going to sleep, waking back up again the next day,
Mhm.
300,000, do it all over again. And I'm like, "Tori, why ain't you buying like 16 houses in the Bahamas or something, or Jamaica? Like, what you doing?
Right.
Why you still going to work?" And she was like, "No, I don't care about the money." You're like, "Yeah, I have it. I just want to make sure that everyone's stable, everything's safe, everything's cool. But I don't care about the money." And it's like the money isn't it. That's not why I'm doing it. And I'm like, "Well, why are you doing it?" Well, it's because it's fun.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Wow." He was like, "Yeah, it's fun. Like I get a real kick out of just simply being able to make this much money in a day, and and no one knows about it. I get to walk into a Starbucks and you know, someone tries to, like a corporate guy will come up to her and try to talk her down and say, or say like, oh, how high and mighty he is, but little does he know she just made 1 million, about 2 hours ago, and she finds it so comical, and she just loves that experience. Me, I genuinely love trading a
Yeah.
lot. I really love, like, it's a game. I love it. I love to play the game. And that's why I'm good at it. Do I need the money? Yeah, who doesn't? But I do it first and foremost because it's so fun.
Man, I'm telling you, this is the part where I want to tell the people who are going to listen to this. If you have a spouse, if you have a mate, look, timestamp this and go rewind 3 minutes and play what he just said again for your mate. And the reason that I say this is because, like I've been blessed with the opportunity to teach people from all different backgrounds, demographics, and different lifestyles. So, like you just said, when you might have a person who is like, all right, I'm not going to focus on the money. I'm for the love of the game, get the process right. I want to I want to get this self-discovery right. But then they might have a mate who's like who stresses about money. Hey, so when are you going to start making money from that thing? Hey, when are you okay? So I see you doing this and you spending time doing that, but hey, where's that check coming? How much is that check going to be this month? Hey, what da 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 da. And what I've seen is that speed people up to the point where now it could be a day as dry as the Sahara Desert, right? And people are trying to risk it all in the market, and the market is just consolidating, moving back and forth. But because they've allowed the outside to come in, now that's determining their moves in the market, and they're hoping the charts move a certain way versus just sitting back. And that's when you're usually a day early or a day late. So
Man, oh man. I put $500 into a Forex account.
yeah,
I was living with my ex and her family at the time.
uh-huh,
Uh, and it was like 4 a.m. in the morning. I
uh-huh,
was trading US 30 and I just knew it was going to go up. This was after that first major drop a few years ago on US 30. It was like the first real big drop.
uh-huh.
And after it dropped, I knew, okay, well, damn, it's gonna go up.
Right.
And I was I was like 1 day early.
Mm,
I put in a 500 and I was just buying. And in 4 hours, I was up to like 15K.
yeah.
Did I pull out? No, no. But the next day, so I lost all the money. Me, broke college student. That was like, man, that was everything I had. But the next day, man, did it go up and never looked back.
Never.
It would have been like $170,000 or
Good.
something like that.
Good.
But but yeah, that's happened so often. You can beat yourself up about it, but hey, it's a learning opportunity. That taught me that, there's something more important than price. A
Yes.
lot of people love price action. And what price? There's something more important than price, and that's time.
Mm,
And that's what I try to teach people. I've
mm-hmm,
mastered how to put both of them together.
mm-hmm.
But if you can get in at the right time, it don't matter how big you trade. I'm
Yeah.
not suggesting you do that, but it is a reality. So therefore, it is something that people should start focusing more on how to analyze time, and how to time the markets better as opposed to just the price.
Yeah. I love that. I love
Uh,
that. I love it, man. So what do you say to people who are always trying to find the next strategy, the next strategy? Are you a person where you're like, hey, here's my strategy, I stick to it? Or
Now I am.
okay, which one do you feel is more profitable? Always learning something new and trying to incorporate it, or having your tried and true strategy and sticking to it?
Um, Here's the reality: all strategies work. Okay, I'm not gonna say all, but I mean, the majority. If it's a strategy that's known, it works.
Right.
How well, that's a different story, but it works.
Mm-hmm.
What doesn't work is the trader.
Mm,
That's why I say it's the personal development. It's the trader who is trading the strategy that is not working,
mm,
but they think the strategy is not working. Every strategy has a losing rate
mm,
because it has a win rate and it's not 100%.
right.
So therefore, every strategy has a losing rate as well. And sometimes you are trading that strategy and it is a loss, but because you anticipated that it's going to win and it doesn't win, you think the strategy is crap. So you try to go and find a new one, and then you learn that. And you're just bouncing from strategy to strategy to strategy to strategy. And I wasted a lot of time doing that. It's helped me because I know almost every strategy out there
Mm-hmm.
and I can see it in real time. I know, oh, these kind of traders are waiting for this to happen. Oh, these kind of traders are waiting for that to happen. So it's helped me over time,
Mm-hmm.
but not until now.
Yeah.
And I really think that's why it took 7 years, because I strategy hopped. If I would have stuck to what I originally learned and just simply became a better man, Worked on my literally worked on myself emotionally,
Yes.
you know, like went to therapy to so that way I didn't have to deal with so many traumas and you know like had proper risk management. If I was willing to take it a little slower, just literally a little slower, I
Hmm.
would have been far more profitable a lot sooner. Um, so don't strategy hop. Find a good strategy, learn it, and just apply the risk. I'll put it like this. Let's say you get a funded account trading futures. Risk $500 a day.
Mm.
Make Try to aim for 1,500 a day. That's 3 to 1.
Mhm.
$1,500 a day is so easy. Once you actually start it and you realize, oh wow, I just entered my trade. I'm already up $800. You gonna realize that you can do this very consistently. That's why I'm using these numbers.
Mhm.
And really, you're probably gonna do better than this. But this is realistic. $1,500 is what you'll average over the course of the week. You might have a loss one day. You might win 3K one day. That's how it's gonna work. So $1,500 on average, $500 loss. That
Yeah.
is how much a week? One, two, three. That's 750 a week, or 7,500 a week,
500.
right? $7,500 a week.
Yeah. 90K.
That's life changing money for so many people. Now, guess what? Get your first payout and now buy 4 more accounts with Top Step. Copy trade them. So all the trades you take on one account get multiplied. So
Yeah.
now, now it's no longer $7,500 a week. It's $37,500 a week.
Yes.
It,
Yes.
it but you kept it, and that's been my plan for quite some time, is
Mhm.
to copy trade. So that way I don't have to see big numbers. I don't
Mhm.
have to see huge P&Ls in
Mhm.
just one big account. I can divide it all up, trade small contracts, stay consistent, but I know in the back of my mind, a nigga up.
Yeah. Right.
Excuse my language, but it's like
I can
I'm,
not.
I'm up. Oh,
Right.
this $2,000 that I just made, this $2,000 scalp, that's 10 bands. I'm
Right.
good. And that's one day,
One day.
you know, and, and like that day is still young. There's so much more trading to do. Or you can stop yourself and know that you have 4 more days to trade, and honestly, it's at the point now, like, okay, I took a $3,000 loss today.
Mm.
I'm happy. I actually feel right now almost just as happy to take a loss as I do to take a win. And that's so weird.
And
And
why?
the
Why?
reason why is because I'm locked out of my account. I can't trade if I wanted to. There's nothing that I can do about it. I took a little loss. I'm still have 25,000 dollars in my in this particular account.
Mm.
And I can trade tomorrow and I'm probably gonna make 10, 12, 13,000. You know, it's
Yeah.
like I took my losses and I started playing video games.
Right.
That's just the reality of it. Once now granted, it's nerve-wracking.
Mm.
What I want everyone who's interested in futures to do: buy you two 50K accounts. It's gonna
Mm.
run you $100,
Mm.
49.49.
Mm.
Pass them, right?
Mm.
And then there's a lot of upfront costs, right? So then you're gonna pay 150 per account. So to get this set up initially, the total cost is going to cost you about a week of your time, and what, 300 $400. But once you have it set up and you just do what I'm saying, if you make $1,500 on average a day, or even just $1,000 a day on average. Say you made 5K on each account for the week. The next week you can cash that out. It'll be in your bank account in 1 or 2 days. You have $10,000. That is gonna free up so much mental. No, actually, you can only cash out half of that. You can cash out 5K. Okay. That's gonna free up so much mental capacity to just chill and keep trading, in another week and a half, by that point in time, they'll allow you to trade more. So
Mhm.
you'll probably be able to cash out, maybe roughly about like taking the same trades, they'll scale. You'll probably be able to cash out about 15,000,
Mhm.
you know, from you can have 25, $30,000 in 30 days with a
Talk
$400 investment. And then, at that point, you have money burning a hole in your pocket. You go back and you buy the three more accounts, pass those challenges, and now you have five accounts going.
Oh my goodness.
Five accounts going, and they're all gonna multiply. That's how I made it to the leaderboard because I had multiple accounts.
Mm.
So when I did have that good trade, it got multiplied, and I only had three. No, actually, I only had two accounts
Yeah.
for the first week, and then I got a third one in the second week. I haven't even worked my way up to five yet, and I'm about to do that next week.
So, and this is amazing. So, and the thing I like too about futures is, just especially with Top Step, I do trade evade on Top Step. It just has a little drop down menu. So you go from one account to the next account, to the next account, the next account. What I'm thinking, so question I have regarding Top Step is, can you buy multiple accounts before you pass the first funding?
Yeah, I so what I did, they had a promotion going,
Uh,
and they were selling 50K accounts for like $19.
yeah.
But I think that's really only a one-time thing because they had just come out with the new Top Step X platform. It's a web-based trading platform. It's really good that you can use to trade. Um, is what I use.
Yeah.
It's very intuitive, very easy. Uh, and I bought 10. Uh, I bought 10 50K challenges to ensure that I would pass five of them.
Yeah.
Uh, and I passed them, and I didn't have the money to activate all of them, so I only did what I could. I activated two,
Mhm.
and I did what I needed to do with those two,
Mhm.
and I just activated two more. But I'm going to shut down all of these accounts because now I have more money, and I'm going to buy the 150K accounts.
Yeah.
And I want to use this environment to test myself to build that muscle up to get comfortable trading more contracts.
Yeah.
Uh, because I'm only trading five, which is a lot still, but
Yeah.
I want to start trading 10, 15 contracts and eventually trading like 25 contracts on my personal accounts.
That was so
And
yeah.
so I don't so I instead of risking my own money, um my own capital and my own personal account, let me go ahead and drop some money, however many hundreds of dollars to get this set up so that way the brunt of the risk is being taken not by me personally when I'm trading. Um, and then I still have a tremendous opportunity to make a lot of money. And that's just how I see it.
Blueprint. That's look, it's amazing um hearing what you're saying because I'm 33. You're 25. I always tell one thing I always tell people is, you know, people are so afraid to make that first mistake. Like, and my thing is make your mistakes and make them fast. The faster you make mistakes, if you now are making mistakes and you're mindful while you're making mistakes, you know what to avoid going forward. right? And then your brain eventually evolves and start working and starts coming up with solutions. Hey, I ran into this problem before, so now, bam, here's a solution. Everything you're saying is so on point and it's so uncanny. Like hearing you say this at 25, because I know people in LYMG, people wherever are going to hear this and go, Kirk said so much of that. Like even the way you call it copy trading, I'll call it like twin trading, where I always tell people like, hey, I'm trading multiple accounts. So I'll do it where, I might trade Robinhood, options on Robinhood, options on SoFi, and then I'll do, because I know how the dollar's moving, I'll have three Forex accounts where I'm trading the same information based off how the dollar's moving. I'm just doing it on SPY over here and I'm doing it on EU over here. And I'll have just one piece of information and extrapolate that across 4 or 5 accounts. And I
Mm-hmm.
always tell people you create an entire stream of revenue just by taking 5 extra seconds to click a button. Why are you like that right there is so worth it, but you
Mm-hmm.
have to start with that faith to believe in yourself to learn the skill set. People would rather go and get a second job that takes another 25 hours of their time.
Yeah.
And it's the craziest thing to me, but they want the results. And I'm like, well, if you were to take that 25 hours a week that you're handing over, you only have 168 in a week, and you were to just put that into yourself and study, you'd be able to do exactly what Romel is talking about right now. Take a $400 investment and then end up making 30 grand in a month. Like, but it starts with the faith. It
Yeah.
starts
It
with
starts with the faith, the ability, and the consistency of learning that material. Yeah.
yes, yes, man. Like it's that's really all I had. The last question that I have is if there was one thing, right? Let's say you could go back to the beginning of your journey. You can travel back in time and you can hand you who are just starting trading one attribute. Like let's say this is a video game. Let's say it's 2K or whatever. You can hand, 18-year-old you one attribute. What attribute would you hand yourself? It could be something technical analysis wise, or it could be like a character trait to make yourself a better trader.
Hmm. That's a solid question. I've never even thought about that before. I mean, it's actually a common question. You hear it all the time. What if you could go back and tell yourself one thing, what would it be? But it was just hard. Because there has been so many different markers and moments that helped me get
Mm-hmm.
to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's just one. Let me think for a moment.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Hmm. Uh oh. Well, I did have this. I already had this attribute. I already had this attribute, but I think it's a good one that I think everyone should. I think it's a good one people should have. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Uh, don't be afraid to experiment.
Mm, like it.
Don't be afraid to experiment. You might come up with a brand new trading strategy. You might come up with a hybrid between two very well-known trading strategies and make it your own.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say don't be afraid to experiment is because what that does is it leads to you developing edge.
Ooh.
And that is what makes someone profitable. I wish there was I don't know if there's a way to actually calculate edge, but it's like the more edge you have, the more profitable you're going to be because you can see something that someone else may not. You can act on information that someone else doesn't have. You can be in that position a little sooner before someone else. You
Hmm.
can recognize like your edge, whatever it is, that's going to set you apart. And that's so what my edge is. I'm going to reveal what my edge is.
Hmm.
I analyze the wicks. That's
Hmm.
what my that's what my that's part of my edge, my technical analysis. I don't draw the line at the support and the resistance. I don't draw a trend line. I don't have moving averages anymore. I don't have all
Hmm.
this other like, I take a wick that is
Hmm.
at the high or at the low
Hmm.
of whether it's the extreme overall higher time frame or maybe if it's just in this little area that I'm looking at right now because I'm about to enter
Yeah.
or whatever it is. I take the wick at the high and the low
Hmm.
and I draw a rectangle from the
Uh-huh.
base of that wick where it meets the candle to the end of the wick.
Uh-huh.
I extend it out and then I wait for price to come back into the range of that wick, maybe do a little dance up and down,
Hmm.
and then break out,
Mm. Either up or down.
either up or down.
Hmm.
I just I just explained in a very simple way
Hmm.
what I have created called wick sauce concepts. Because there's a lot of other there's a lot of other technical analysis, right? And
uh,
a lot of stuff that you got to learn to trade, right?
yeah.
And that's the meat.
Yeah.
But this sauce though over here will set whatever you eating off. This little don't forget to add the little bit of wick sauce on top of whatever you got going on.
Right.
Analyze the wicks because
Right.
that's gonna keep you entering trades at the extreme.
Mm. Hmm.
So say if the market is going up and it's going to reverse, whatever it might liquidate or fake out above a high, but so it goes above a wick, the range of the wick, but it comes immediately back inside.
Yeah.
And then say we're starting to go down to the bottom edge of that rectangle, we start to sell off. If
Hmm.
you enter a sell inside the range of a wick, you're entering in at a very extreme, at a very good premium price to
Yeah.
take this trade lower. You know,
I get what you're
as
saying.
opposed to waiting for the price to come even further down to support, go back up for a retest to make a lower high. So now you have a market structure shift. And now you're going to wait for the price to come back and hopefully break support. It's just like, I'm already in.
Yeah. At the best price.
Yeah.
At
And so my primary technical analysis. Um, I'll go ahead and drop another one. Why not? Another one, another gem is this thing called a decision level.
uh,
Um, if you invite me back, I can explain all of this visually. But the definition of a decision level is the last micro or internal high or low that was made
uh-huh.
before price broke structure or before it broke a major support or a major resistance before the move happened, before it just the market went in whatever direction it went.
Okay. So look, okay, I think you said the last micro decision.
Yes. So let's
Okay,
just
that's
say
it.
like price makes a double top, right?
Uh-huh.
And you have the bottom of that range, this is support, right? You can visualize that.
Yes. Hold on, wait,
When
you got it.
price makes that double top and it's coming back down, it might go up and make this little small little high. It might be a couple candles, three candles, whatever it is. It might make this little blip, this little high
Mhm.
right before it breaks.
Okay, okay,
You you want to put a line right there
okay. Hold on, wait. You're about to make me. Hold on, wait. I keep a chart up. I keep
because that is the price That is the price at the time that was tested to make the market move.
Okay, so can you see my screen?
Oh yeah, yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, so let me see. Like, all right,
What are you on? You're on. Okay. Go to like
give me a chart
go
to go.
go to like NQ for example. We'll find something real quick. I'll show you how to mark it up.
All right.
All right. All right. Now to go back to a previous day. This I don't want to see all this news. Just scroll back. Uh yeah, scroll back. I don't want to see all of that. Okay. This I think is
5 minute time frame good or go higher?
uh go go to like the 15 for this. It works on all time frames, but we'll find something. Let me see. Uh okay. Let's I don't have enough scroll back even further to the left.
All
I
right.
want to find a very clear example. We'll come across one. Keep going. Keep going. Let's see what this looks like. All right, it's starting to look good. All right. Uh
All right. Are you on the phone?
yep, no,
I say
yep,
you
I am
should.
on the phone.
Can you annotate? You should.
Uh I don't know if I can. Let me
Uh,
see. I don't know.
you click the screen, you see the little pencil pop up. You might be able to annotate. Should. Let's see.
Nope, more. I don't believe so.
Okay. Let's see.
Okay, let's see. All right. So, hmm,
Let's see.
scroll back to the left
All right.
because I didn't see any decision levels there, and I analyzed that already. All right, this should be better. I see a trend. All right. Yeah. Double click price on the right, so price can expand up. All right. Let's see here. So, not yet. That's fine. That's fine. So let's see. Trying to look for an example of one. Pan pan it down so I can see up there on the left.
Okay. Let's see.
Okay, got it. Okay,
Mhm.
so
I like the name, the Wick Sauce Concepts.
okay, there's one right there. All right, took a minute because I always be on the 1 minute time frame. Okay, uh, put put your crosshair or your over a little bit to the right of where it says 29 at the bottom.
So it's 29. Okay. Okay. Here we
Okay, yeah.
go.
So now so go over to the right. It's that next high, the next one.
Right here.
Okay, yeah. So that high
Uh-huh.
in particular, that was the last high that was made
Hmm.
before price came down and it broke those major lows on the left. Do you see that?
Hmm.
So yeah, those major lows, that was the last high that was made. So what I would do is I would like highlight that region. I would zoom into it on a really small time frame, and I
Hmm.
would try to pick out what price specifically um, was there. But we can see it though. So if you take a line and you draw it, uh, draw and extend the line out to the right.
Okay. Oh, wait. So cover the take a line, extend out to the right.
Yeah, or just draw a ray or a line there at that high.
Okay.
You'll see that that is the specific high. For this one, you can put it on the you can put it on the top of the candlestick because it's the range. So it would go from the top of the candlestick all the way down to there. So anywhere inside, like either at that level or above it, it sells.
Okay. Okay.
And so notice how that was the specific high that got tested.
Hmm.
And what did we do? We bounced off of it twice, very tight stop loss, and the market just continued to sell off like crazy later.
Goodness gracious.
Right. And so scoping out which high and which low is important to mark on your chart is crucial. And this is how I've narrowed it down. I'm going to mark out whichever high that caused the market or price to break structure. And so at that high, I marked that one because those lows that were made over there on the left,
Mhm.
those are strong.
Mhm.
Those are strong lows. The market came down and tapped it once, then it tapped it again, and they had very strong reactions to the upside, right?
Right.
So that means it took a lot of money to break that.
Right.
So
Mhm.
for some reason, there's something about that price where that high was that means that there's a huge influx, a huge wall of sellers, and that particular price has to be upheld in
Mhm.
order for a price to continue to go down. If that price is disrespected, then it's saying, okay, we are buying above a high that was made in order to push the market lower. It doesn't make sense. If we break this particular high, how can we expect reasonably for the market to sell off even further? So
Right.
this high has to be respected. It's called a
Mhm.
decision level because you can typically take like 70% of the time, if you mark out these accurately, like 80% of the time, you can take what you can take the trade in the direction of whatever happened last time. So if
Mhm.
it sold last time or the first time, you can sell it the second time.
Yeah.
I never take it a third time.
Mhm.
So that double top, I wouldn't have taken that, but I would have taken the breakout of that range to go lower.
Okay.
Um, but I'll always take that trade. The next time we come back to that price, I'm gonna take that trade. I mark out my decision levels, and
That's
so that's it. That's so there's wicks, decision levels, and then the last thing that I use for my entries is a volume profile indicator. But it's the way that I set mine up is a little bit complex to make it very easy, and that would just take way too much time to
yeah.
explain.
Oh, yeah, I usually have the volume profile up here. I use VRVP. I usually have it up here, but I think I was using what was I using? I was using Lux Algo earlier. But yeah, okay. I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
I'm a big
yeah.
okay,
I'll
so
go ahead and send some. I'll send some markups. I'll go ahead and do some markups in my spare time. If I see some examples of stuff, I'll go ahead and send them to you. And if you think it's useful, you can share it. But that decision level concept and the wick concept,
okay.
um, that's really all I use, technically speaking. And
Okay.
then I track my highs and my lows. I
Mhm.
make sure that if I'm in a downtrend, it's lower lows, lower highs. If I get any change in that pattern, then I'm going to be very cautious.
Nice.
Um, and that's
So
just from pure technical perspective. I don't use that too much for futures these days because
mhm.
my stop loss has to be real tight.
Mhm.
But I do it for sure to gauge my bias,
Mhm.
um, to understand what direction I want the market to go.
So you see, you just sparked a question that I have now.
Hmm.
So look, so now look, I'm taking what you said, right? So that wick, right? This particular wick was the last time price set a high point. And so that wick is being upheld. And then I heard you mention these like strong lows over here, right?
Yeah,
So let's say I were to just mark off this low. So I know this starts before, but I'm starting here with this with the high point with the wick, right?
okay,
Is there a world where you can say, okay, here was that strong low where we saw so much bullish volume come in? Like it was something about that price right there. Bam, made the bulls come in, right? So could I go to a lower time frame and I have this marked off? Let's say I'm going to shade this in. And let me go ahead. So I'm looking at this area right here. Could I shade that in and maybe scroll down to like a five? Let's see, where's my area? Maybe do that.
I think it's going to be really far to the left.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We are in 20. Yeah. And we're on 29th or something like that. There it is.
Yep, and then just press control and zoom into it.
Mm, okay.
That's like a little hack.
Okay. So,
You can press and hold control and then zoom right into wherever your mouse is.
oh, perfect. Perfect. Okay. So let's say I have this level right here, right? So I'm looking
Mm-hmm.
at the last high that the last high that the
Yeah,
bear,
yeah, yeah.
and then this is that low point that was having some time being broken. So if I see it break out, retest, and then go down past there, would that be a good place to go? Okay, look, that low is now violated, and I can expect a nice trend down.
Yeah, because 1 second.
Mhm. Okay, there. All right. Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, okay, good timing. I'm back. So, um, so to answer your question, like effectively, yeah, kind
Mhm.
of marked up a pivot point by happenstance, but I don't think in real time you would have seen it that way. But but so that low that you did mark up, that is by technical definition, it is a type of decision level. It's not one of the ones that I normally mark up.
Mhm.
It's kind of like one because price did tap it. It depends on your time frame.
Mhm.
But what I will say is if you mark up a level, um, a decision level, like I call it, and the market goes and the next time it's at that price, it flips,
Uh-huh.
like it disrespects it,
Yeah.
then it lets you know, maybe not right at that moment, but at some point, that will be your future entry to take a trade in the opposite direction.
Okay. Okay.
So notice how you have that bottom blue line marked.
Yeah.
Yeah, we on all the way on the left, we flipped below it,
Uh-huh.
right? And then we was testing it as a resistance, started going down. Okay, but then we came back up, traded a little bit higher because we didn't test the high, you know. But notice how really where the trade started and it didn't look back. It was when towards the end price broke out of that red rectangle that you drew. And that was the right time as well for
Hmm.
you to enter into that trade real heavy. Price didn't look back. You know, it's 6:05. What time is that on at your time? 16 chart time.
About yeah, about two something.
Two
Um,
something in the morning.
250. Yeah, this is on Eastern Standard, so that's about 250. Yeah.
Okay,
My peak.
perfect. So that was like a London session entry, and it just sold for the rest of the day,
Hmm.
right? So yeah, so the decision levels help you pick out the right price to enter your trade, as well as they tell you that, hey, when the time is right, this is the price to trigger or execute your trade at.
Okay. Okay. I
Yep.
like I like that a lot. I like that a ton. I like that a ton. I like what you're saying about like, the high point with um that decision level. That's key.
Hmm.
That's key.
Now, honestly, now that you zoomed into a lower time frame,
Mhm.
I would have marked up that one that's right below it.
Right here.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
And so here it is.
And I usually start on the 30 minute and the 15, but I will go all the way down to the 5 minute or the 1 minute to mark up that decision level. But that
Oh,
right there is solid. So that is the price. So now what I would have done is as soon as price uh, was telling me, like, look how perfect that is. It's
yeah.
rating above that red line, leaving rejection above that decision level. It's trying to break and go higher, but it's not. I'm watching all of those candlesticks right on the proper time frame, depending on what time it is. Like I said earlier, I'm waiting to see how those candles are going to close. Are they going to close below this level? Because this level is important. And as long as we keep closing, as long as we keep rejecting, what I'm going to wait for is what I call a base candle.
Hmm.
So that is a candle that has a longer wick compared to the body of that candle.
Hmm.
And we don't really get the first major solid example of that until the second high that was made. So the double top that was made, that candle, that green one right in the middle,
Right here.
yeah, very short body,
Yep.
very long wick,
Hmm.
a nice huge reaction. I would have been entering for sure on the close of that candle, or if that candle was forming, is 5 minute candle, like probably within the last minute of that candle, I would have just been entering. I'm like, nah, this is looking really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And
Yeah.
so that's how I would have caught that out. And the reason why I would have used that level is because that's the last micro level where price really then it did drop at that point. And then yeah, that's just confirmed. We can see all the candlesticks did want to respect that line.
Mhm.
That's the area. You could have marked up both highs, but you know that one of those is the one
Yeah.
that's going to be respected.
Yeah. So no wonder you're able to take, 5 contracts on a 50K. That is crazy. That's insane to me.
Yep.
But you go with the micro level, like you said, respecting it like that.
This one concept alone, if you can get good at picking out your levels, because like I don't just draw a line to draw a line,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and I'm very precise. And
Right.
I got this way because I had no discipline with how much I wanted to trade. So I knew I wanted to trade heavy, and I knew I wanted to be at the right price. So I
Hmm.
learned how to do it. I
Yeah.
taught myself this. I didn't. This right here, no one taught me. I just kind of figured it out.
This is dope. This is really dope. It's funny. And it's funny you say this because like how I how I would look at this is like I would arrive to the same point, right? But just using thinking in teacher mode, just thinking about, okay, I see an inverted head and shoulders here. So I mean excuse me, head and shoulders. So head, shoulder, shoulder. Then it's respecting another order block, little baby order block right there. And I'll just like if I were talking to somebody new, I see how I was creating the stair steps right there. And it just keeps respecting level after level after level. And then you add the micro level to that. And it's like, where else is it going to go? It can't go anywhere. Look,
Yeah,
yeah, it
yeah.
can't
No,
go
it's it,
anywhere.
it's it's like, and I try to make it as simple. I don't teach new people.
Mm,
I teach people who already trade, or people who already know about trading and have been trying, for a minute, and then I make them better.
uh,
But for new people, it is like they have to already have to know like why you're marking out this level,
mm,
you know. But if there was a world where I could just teach them this one concept alone,
mm,
that's probably the only thing that I would show people is like mark out
mm.
this particular level, search for it, scan for it. If you find it, draw a line and do whatever happened at that level previously. If you're wrong, you're going to know very quickly. Why? Because you're going to get a candle that closes above it.
Yeah,
We didn't get no candles that closed above that level at all.
Right.
But as soon as we would have gotten one candle that closed above it, guaranteed it wouldn't have been that much.
Mm-hmm.
And we would have known that, okay, this level is getting disrespected. Let me go ahead and close my trade. Let the market do whatever it's gonna do. And when the dust settles, I will look for a trade at this same level later, maybe the next day or in a future session at this level.
Mm.
I'll look for a buy instead.
Okay. So now it becomes your place of support.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's cold right there. I like that a ton.
And that's it.
That's so
So
question.
now,
What?
so now do this. Click bar replay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh is up there in the top middle. Yep. And then start it like at that second high.
Right here.
Yeah, it's about right there.
Mm-hmm.
Up your contracts to 5 down there at the bottom, right? Where it says 1.
Okay.
Yep, click it. And then click 5 or minus sign. Yep. All right, cool. Now click sell.
All
Now
right.
I just want you to click, just go
All right.
and just, or yeah, no, just yeah, just keep clicking candle by candle. So boom, that's already 3K. That's it. Five. Now hold on. So that's three to $5,000, just
Good.
like that,
Good.
right? And now times that by 3, 4, 5 accounts you have. All right, now go on and keep clicking. I would be taking this. Probably my first real target would be the low.
Right here, down here.
Yep, yep. That's probably gonna run you about. It's probably gonna be about 12,000. I, I would guess like somewhere just north of yeah, boom, 12K. Now we don't have the nerve to break the low. So guess what I'm gonna do?
Boy, you
Keep
going back.
keep holding.
Keep holding. Keep holding.
Yeah.
There it is.
And it's like I don't see no reason to sell. The market's not giving me no candlesticks reason to sell. We didn't break that high. No, we're still good. We're gonna break that low. It's probably the end of the session now at this point. Yeah, it's getting close to the end of the day. Stop it. Okay, cool. So that's $18,000. And I've done that.
Yeah.
I did that like Monday last week, made 36K because I had 2 accounts. That's what I posted on my story.
Yeah. So, all right. So when you have you have 5 contracts and you're risking what about 500? You said.
Well, okay, well, just go ahead and drag the stop loss up to about like yeah. So I'm risking about like $500.
Hmm.
But I will risk my total thing. So I'll risk the 1K.
Yeah.
But because we entered at the right time,
Yeah.
we went immediately in the profit, and then we never even came back. Sometimes we do come back to our entries, but the better our entry at those levels, the more sure I like we can be that okay, we're not gonna get screwed over. And if we do get screwed over, it means because we're gonna lose this trade.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
now right now I have a $3,000 loss limit,
Yeah.
the daily loss limit, so I can risk a bit more.
Right. Right.
But
Not.
if I get in at the right time, sometimes say like I might only do 3 contracts. 3 contracts will make a lot of money. That's still gonna be what's 18 divided by 5? Let me see.
3 point something. And how can I get this?
Times 3. That's with 3 contracts, that still would have been $10,000, almost $11,000, and I would have been very safe as
Yeah.
far as my risk goes.
Good night. Good night. Okay. So I.
So
Mhm.
now your question is can you take this strategy
Mhm.
and do this 5 times. That's
Yes,
it.
yes,
You
that's crazy.
look,
I just did this with
you do
three.
it once. No, so like you do it twice
Uh-huh.
to pass your challenge. Then once you're funded, you do it three out of the 2 days a week. You can have 2 losing days, and if you can do this 3 times, then you're good. You will have 10, 15, $20,000 profit on the account, and you can request your payout 50% of your total profits, or you can shut down your account completely and take all the money, 90% profit split. Up to
Yeah.
you.
Yikes.
No
Yikes.
need to do all these credit card scams and things that
Right.
people is doing, or you don't got to go into a bunch of debt, business debt, to get a track hawk and a Hellcat.
Yeah. Yeah. I like,
just just do this 5 times. If it
wow.
takes you 2 weeks, what else are you gonna do right now that's gonna make you potentially 10,000, 18, $20,000 on in a day? But what else are you gonna do that is gonna make you 20 to $30,000 in 2 weeks?
Right. Good night. Yes.
And this right here is just 5 contracts. It
Mhm.
costs $50K to get the challenge, $149 to wait, did I say 50K? No, it
Yeah.
costs you 50 costs you
$50.
$50 to get the challenge,
Yeah.
$149 to activate it. So that's $200.
Yeah.
That's less or just as much money as you would put into your own account to try to make what, $80, $200, $300,
Right. Right.
and you're up. You have this sitting here profit. Now you done made $18,000. You have to lose 18 days in a row to
Yowza.
blow this opportunity.
Yeah.
That only costs $200.
You're right.
And this is the smallest account size.
Well, you're right. Right.
They I'm about to start the 150K
Mm,
account. So I
mm,
could trade 15 contracts.
right.
That's that same $18,000 trade would have been 54K.
Shite.
And that's one account.
On one account.
Times 5 accounts is what they let you have.
Yeah.
Do you do
Gee,
do you do you want to have a $270,000 day?
absolutely.
And you
What?
can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best believe, best believe by the end of this month, I'm gonna have a couple $100,000.
That's cold, bro. That is crazy. I like I like the precision of the entry. Um,
Right.
see, you're bringing me back to you. You give me that itch because you can get like I deal with a lot of new people, right? So I would say probably 97% of people who start trading with us are new. So you could get kind of
Mm,
teaching mode, coach mode. You're talking more about risk management. But then it's like, all right, when coach send all the players home, and then you got the open gym with the hoopers, and you really
yeah, and
start
you're able to go
looking at that.
crazy.
Yes, like
Yeah.
you like the precision of this. So I'm looking at you see, I done start playing with different stop losses and I'm playing with different contracts. I was like, so if I put, let's just say if I were experiment put two and I just put it above this level right here, which I know it's not going to hit. I know it's not going to hit. And I get it to add up to that 1,000, whatever you're saying. Like, I see this. I see this working big time. And it's dope what you're saying because I'm reading the book right now. Where they were talking about, finding those 3-to-1 trades. And one thing I realized when I started teaching and teaching a lot more is that I started myself, I was starting to get more of like 1-by-1 trades, 2-by-1 trades. Whereas before, when it was just me and I'm in my bag, just taking my risk, I'm looking for the highest risk to reward, and I'm looking for those the best, sniper entries. So you bringing this back up is like, oh yeah, man, you got me back in my bag. You got me back in my,
Yeah.
you got me back in my bag, man.
And and I was teaching people for a few months from
Mhm.
like September all the way to like maybe January.
Yeah.
And I had to stop. I had to stop. It wasn't that I didn't like it. I loved it, but I got so overwhelmed with like not being able to focus
Hmm.
on me and
Hmm.
be a little selfish with my time and what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
I deleted my Discord. I had 200 students. I deleted everything. I shut everything down. I couldn't have it at all because I had to lock in and focus for myself. I had to get the results of what I'm teaching all these people how to do.
Right.
And not only for credibility, but I mean, I need the money. you
Yeah.
know, I
Right.
don't. And so it's like, okay, I did it. Now I opened my little Discord group, and I got like 30 people in there right now. I'm trying to just keep it small, but
Yeah.
Top Step they keep shouting me out, and then people keep hitting me up, and so I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
But
it's a good
but
problem.
but this is it. So add this to your arsenal. Even if you don't want to give these signals out, because honestly, you can't.
Nah, yeah,
It,
time.
they're gonna happen. The executions just happen too quickly. But if you want to use this for you personally,
Hmm.
then do that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, and I'll
Do that.
definitely, I'm definitely going to be sending some, like, some follow up questions and stuff like that. If you could just send me some sample markups.
Oh, look. See, now that we're on the 5 minute chart, it's even more clear. That
Uh,
same level, that's the decision level,
uh,
was an old decision level.
see right here.
That no, the red line, all the way on the left.
Hmm.
Do you see where price hit that
Here.
low and it went up? Boom, yeah, that's
Yeah.
a decision level. So if you just leave your crosshair there,
Yeah.
notice how when price came back and it broke below that level,
Yeah.
that was your that was your indication that price is going to want to sell at some point at this level.
Mm.
So if now start to move your mouse horizontally to the right. So all of this right here was the break. It was the retest. It went up, went down, all that going on, right? We know that it's like I said, it's not going to be immediate.
Yeah.
But look, it went down,
Hmm.
came up, and tapped that same price. It tapped that same price over there
Bam,
on the
right
right.
here.
Yes, right there. It tapped that
Right here.
same price. So if you knew that, you had that marked up. Let's just say you missed that entry, but you know what you see.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and take your scalp, your little trade, as price is going down and
There it
price is
is.
breaking that low. Put your stop loss real tight, right above that price, because you know what you're looking at. And that is an example of how to take a decision level trade in the future in the opposite direction. That's why I say that is your future entry. So since you know that is your future entry, as soon as you start feeling like, okay, price is going to move in that direction, it's best to put your price at that entry and just test it, just hit it,
Did it. Yeah.
you know,
Just
and then you'll know real quick if you're right or wrong. And like I said, it's a high probability.
yeah. This is
Yep.
this is
And
dope.
then and then that became the level for two more trades. So now because this happens sometimes the best trades you take in the week are the trades you take over and over. So that would have been your
Mhm.
first trade. Boom. Then you took the same trade at the same price a little later.
Bam, bam.
Boom.
Yeah.
Then you just so happen to take the same trade again, the way the market was moving, roughly around the same region. So you took three sells at the same, roughly like the same price, you
That
know?
is crazy. Yeah. Yeah. And
Like the trades I took on Monday and Tuesday last week, where I had my two back-to-back 40K days, basically. One was 36K and the other one was like 40 something K.
yeah.
It was the same trade. I
Yeah.
took a buy on NQ, went up. Then the next day, it came back to the same place where I took the buy the previous day. I took it again,
Mhm. And oh my gosh, bro. This
and
is
that's how that worked.
that's okay. So yeah, this is definitely something for
At
sure.
least that's a little bit of proof that like I must know what I'm talking about a little
Oh
bit, and
yeah.
then just have somebody random come on that just kind of fluked it and got lucky.
No, no, no. You know what you're talking about. And the key thing, the thing that I love the most about this is it speaks to the you gave a actual dollar value for consistency. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like a lot of people, you could talk about consistency and esoteric value, and you hope some people get it, but it's like, hey, this move literally made me 40,000. So look, I would frame it like this. Is it worth being consistent from look to be able to just focus on NQ, focus on whatever it is that you trade, right? And instead of going on YouTube after you lose one trade and trying to find another strategy and talking about, well, this new crypto or this new this, that, and the third, you focus on NQ and see how it's moving, and it's going to present you with the opportunities. Because if you got to look, even if you got it wrong at that first level, right, and it flipped the other way, either
you would have
way,
got out quick.
exactly.
That's
Exactly.
the thing. It's like this is the only strategy that I have.
Uh-huh.
Well, no. Uh, well, yeah, this is like the main strategy that I have. Well, I have two.
Uh-huh.
Well, no, but this is the best one. This is the easiest one. I'll put it like that. It's the easiest one.
Mm-hmm.
Easiest strategy that I have where you can get in. You already know what price, and you have very very minimal loss and maximum reward. And even in the event that your reward isn't that great,
Mm-hmm.
you're still going to make money.
Yeah.
You know, there's no way that you can place a trade at one of these decent levels and not make two bands. We saw how we saw
Yeah.
how quickly you were up like 3 5K. That's
Right.
just at the bottom of that red box, you know. And now this type of entry has the potential to make those really really big gains, and it will.
Yeah.
It now it's not going to happen every day.
Yeah.
If you get into the mindset that you're going to make an $18,000, $10,000 trade every day, then it's not going to happen.
Right. Right.
But it definitely happens once a week
Yeah. Oh, and
at
that
least.
that
It happens once a week. If you're at the market at the right time, you'll catch it twice a week. But if it surely happens once a week,
bro. I'm about to get another account and just do this. Like I'm
yeah, hey,
gonna
hey, test it. It doesn't hurt, man. Like $50. If you have it, you have it. Go and test it. You don't even go crazy with the contracts though. Even though you know you may,
Mhm.
just only put two down.
Yeah.
Two contracts. I think that's what they limit you to anyway when you start out until you grow the actual balance. Um, but yeah, just two contracts on NQ will get you right. That's all I was doing my first few days. I was making 3K, somewhere like two to $4,000 per account or like per trade. That's what I was doing.
Yeah. Oof. That is crazy.
And
That is
that's just with the cheapest account.
the cheapest.
And whether or not you can do it is up to you, but you have a very good tool.
Mhm.
It does take some time looking at the markets to scope out that level. You know, you got to read each page, you got to read each line, and you got to go in there and get dirty with it, with the chart, and kind of find that level, because it's not gonna be the most clear thing to see,
Yeah.
especially if you don't have your eye trained for it. But
Right.
this will start helping you train your eye,
Mhm.
and they'll become more clearly, or more clearly seen and visible. And
Right.
then next thing you know, you have this ability to just know, okay, at this price we're going to do something.
Right.
Not at this price, not at that price, but at this price right here we're going to do something.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? I don't know. Let's wait until we get there.
Right.
And then once we get there, if we tap it, all right, bet we're going to bounce on it. If we disrespect it, we bitch slap it. Okay, bet. I'm gonna take a trade at this level later.
Right. So,
That's it.
okay.
Simple.
Question. So if I were looking at like to find the level right here, and is there a level that I could use in this area right here?
Yeah. Um, it would be roughly over to the right. I mean, if we're looking at this overall range, like
Mm,
you're on the 15-minute chart, nah. But like I would say, like over on the right, where it made the higher low before it went up.
right here or
Nope, all the way to the right.
oh, right up here?
Nope, that one.
Okay.
So like roughly that region, but see, that's because of time frame you're on.
Okay.
So go down to the 15 or go down to the 5 minute.
Okay.
Your decision levels are best marked out on like a 5 minute chart or
Okay.
1 minute chart.
Perfect. Um,
All right. So
there.
now zoom. Yeah. So no pan. Squeeze it. Scroll out. Scroll out. Scroll out. Scroll out.
You said
Scroll
how
out.
many?
Or no. Scroll down on your
Okay.
mouse wheel.
Okay.
No. Okay. I want you to. I want to see the chart history. I want you to squeeze price so I can see the chart history.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I'm looking at. Okay. Okay, but now zoom in though. That's too far.
Yeah. Here you go.
Press. Well, stop. I'm gonna teach you. Press Control.
Uh-huh.
Zoom in. Right. Yeah. Now scroll in.
Good, good.
Are you pressing Control?
Yep. Control. I'm on the well, I'm on
Oh,
the Mac. Command.
try Command.
Okay.
There.
There we
You
go.
see, so. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
So now stop. All right, scroll
Okay.
out a little bit. Same way. Command scroll out. All right. Now double click price
All right.
on the right. That just will automatically boom. All right, cool.
Okay.
Scroll in a little bit.
All right.
All right, stop. All right. Put put a line at the high all the way on the left
All right.
so I can see when that got broken. All
Right
the way
here.
on the left. All the way on the left. Those highs. Yep.
Here. Okay.
Yep. Okay. So
Mhm.
zoom in now to the area of interest over there.
Here it is.
Mm-hmm. All right. My all right, I'm gonna go based off that high then.
Mhm.
My decision level is that low that's right next to your crosshair. That one.
Right here.
Nope. The
Or is
one
it?
above it. That one.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna mark out that one because
Mhm.
that was like we went up to that little peak that was made and then we did sell down. But once we made that low,
Mhm.
that crossed above that double top kind of.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna mark out that price. It's also a pivot point too.
Mhm. Okay.
So what price is that? 19,110. Okay, cool.
Mhm. Okay, okay. All right. So I see what you're saying. So basically, like, all right, Bears tried to push down, they ran into something like, look, they made a decision. All right, Bears seemed like the Bears fleet the market. The Bulls came in and pushed above that double top.
Yep. And that was the first time that right, but that was the right after that happened, that was the first time we ever confirmed that region as a support with those red candles right where your crosshair is. So that's the level right there.
Yowza. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So now delete everything else.
goodness.
Or not your indicators, but like delete the other two lines.
Okay, so he's right here. Bam,
Yeah.
bam.
All right. Now go to current price. Current price is really high, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is real high. Okay, so So anyway, whenever the time does come, if NAS decides to sell, I would like to see that area tested.
Uh,
You know.
good.
Um. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that's
just how that go.
so if let's say that area is tested, bam. So as you see it coming back down towards this, let's say nothing changes as far as like news, market sentiment, but it's just retesting, it's coming back down towards this, bam, you hopping back in on a buy.
Yeah.
Mm,
Um. Depending on how it acts,
mm,
what I would most likely do in this scenario
mm,
is I would leave that area marked because I know that we can have a bullish reaction there. So if I am in a future sell this week
mm,
or next week, it say whenever the market does sell off,
uh-huh.
um, I will have that as a take profit point.
Mm, okay.
You know, like if that's just how the market is looking, because I know that okay, if I'm selling, we might can stop, and once we touch that price, so I'll leave it marked up on my chart. But now, just in this case, it's going to be a place where I exit my trade and
Mm.
and and potentially get into another one. But yeah,
Sheesh, bro. Uh, man, I love the sniper entry. It's been oh man. Yeah, that's
yeah.
lit. That's lit right there.
Right now, I don't have enough current price action to really determine a decision, but I do think that Thursday, I think there's news Thursday.
Yeah, big news is
Okay, yeah. So Thursday, I don't know. Thursday's gonna be a weird day. I don't
mhm,
know if it's gonna be a big day or if it's gonna be a little bit of a choppy day.
mhm,
Um, but once we have some more price action by sometime tomorrow morning, um, or well, my time probably like at 4:30 in the morning,
mhm.
which is 7:30 East Coast time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be up trying to see if I can get an entry before the market even opens. Uh,
Ooh.
so
Yeah, man.
and by then I should have enough price action
Mhm.
to determine whether or not I can enter into a buy or a sell.
Yeah, this is good. This is golden. This is golden. I like that. I like that a lot, man. I like that a lot. Thank you, for taking the time out to, come on here, tell your experience, your story, explain, for sure. So one thing I want to do is do like a futures boot camp for some of our traders who have experience, who have made, some good money in the market and they want to learn about futures. Thinking about doing like a 3 day, maybe 2 or 3 day. Would you mind one of those days coming on, like explaining something like this?
Yeah, man, that's all fine. Just go ahead and record it, and
Oh,
uh, it'd be good for the community to have. I think this is like a long little like interview, conversation back and forth. But I think hopefully you have some people in the community who will have appreciated this and like will watch it and listen, and then just understand like okay, it's not as hard as I think it is.
mm-hmm.
It's very possible to make the money. And, I'm listening to what they were saying. Learning it is not the hard part. It's managing who you are while you're trading. That's the hard part,
Yeah, I
you
love
know, and that's going to be different for each person. When you actually do click sell with 5 contracts,
it. Mm-hmm.
your body is going to undergo a physiological reaction. Your
Mm-hmm.
pupils will dilate, your heart rate will increase, your palms will start to sweat. You know, there's this book called The Art of Wolf. It talks about how trading is very akin to a sport. You undergo some of the same physiological reactions that
Mm-hmm.
people have right in the moment when they're about to do something significant in a sport or whatever the case is.
Right.
Um, and so it's, trading is it has a literal physical toll on your body. It's
Hmm.
going to be different from each person. How are
Yeah.
you built? Do you have a good gut? Like,
Yeah.
I think the more competitive you are, the better. I
Uh-huh.
think, like, that's why I say, like, what abilities do you have? Are you even cut out for this?
Right.
Like, believe it or not, there is a certain level of conditioning that you have to already have or be willing to work on to become a good trader.
Mm.
This is a sport. It really is a sport.
You look, oh man, look, I tell people all the time, man, I cannot make this up, bro. It's like I say, hey, take care of yourself, get in the gym, all of those things because, and I approach it. I played football in college. So I always tell people like football, all we did in college, in high school, you play all that stuff. In college, it was nothing but film 6, 7 hours a day. So it's like what I loved about trading was it gave me that mental like rush of watching film, dissecting and getting the best of your opponent. Now I could take that over to the charts and I
For
can make
sure.
great money without concussions though. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I have to risk limb or my ACL, PCL. I can make great money by taking that same skill set of studying and then I get that same adrenaline rush. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. So you
Not
saying
de-
that, I'm glad you
not
said,
dependent on nobody. No
yeah.
one's clock. They don't got to clock in and out. No
Oh,
one is in charge of your time card. No one is sending money to your account. Like it's all good. Take advantage of it while it's here.
yes.
For those people, real quick, who might be scared of prop firms, futures is more regulated,
Mhm.
uh, heavily regulated here in the U.S. Legal, a lot more than forex.
Yeah.
Uh, Forex prop firms, they went under, a lot of fire.
Mhm.
Future prop firms are much more safe, a safe bet.
Mhm.
There are some really bad ones out there. Just really take it from me. Blind Faith, Top Step is the best futures prop firm out there. There's only two rules.
Mhm.
Don't lose all the money and uh no, yeah, just don't lose all the money. That's the only rule. Whereas
Right.
you have other ones where it's like, if you hit your daily loss limit, even though you have more of a loss limit left to go, you're gonna blow that challenge,
Yeah. This is
or the whole account. So that's not the case here. They let you at least fail
yeah.
completely and still give you the next day, the next opportunity. This is such a great setup. It's such, and just take advantage of it while it's here. It might be here for the next few years. Who knows?
Yeah. Bro, this is I'm telling you, man, this is a blessing, number one, because um I was just saying earlier, like, I'm a big learner. I'm a big believer in learner. And I don't like when things start to get out of balance, like where I'm always the one teaching or instructing and leading, things like that. It's like because how I got here is my fervor for education and learning. So this right here, puts me back in student mode. It's refreshing. Like I'm excited more to learn than I am to teach. So I hope and I pray when people see this, like they can hear it, like it's genuine. Like I'm literally right when we get off of here, I'm about
You gotta go back test.
I'm about to go back test the piss out of what you're saying, man. And I'm gonna be like, I'm looking for at least 10 instances where I'm like, oh my God, this is right. Because this is my thing. It's like I'm now used to how can I say it? Like I recently transitioned to futures as well. So like I was looking more for one on one, like uh one on one risk to reward,
Mm-hmm.
and oh, if it's really good, maybe 2 to 1, whatever. So I hit my first on futures. I hit my first 2 to 1 futures trade today. And I was like, all right, I like the way that felt. And it's funny because when I first started trading before I was teaching Forex, I mean before I was like doing anything but with Forex, that was my thing. I was like 5-to-1 Poppy. I'm Mr. Risk 15 pips and go get 75 real fast. But I kind of strayed away from that and was like just taking more of the safe bets. But like just getting back in the lab with somebody who's like that and who can show that they're like that, and you actually have, a strategy, something that with all of your experience that you've been able to, extract from the market and actually put not only in the thought but in the practice. It's just so dope and refreshing, man. Because you meet a lot of pretentious people in this area. Um, like how you said earlier, sometimes just be luck. Like I saw somebody when I remember when COVID hit, with Forex, especially UJ, the market just went in one direction. So it just went up, 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 or down, whichever one. Um, and they made a lot of money with UJ, and it was kind of like people. I saw somebody start teaching off of that, and then their course wasn't getting the best thing because like you haven't been trading long enough to experience all the market conditions. So just riding a 500 pip wave on UJ, you made some big earnings. But what happens when the market is not trending? What happens when it's consolidating? What happens when there's news going on, but you don't know about news, things like that. So you're definitely the real deal. You got the real cash, but you're like, I like the education part, man. I appreciate that you
Yeah.
like a total trader, bro. Like,
Yeah.
all around trader, man. So I really appreciate your time. Um, and I'm excited about getting this to the team. And best believe I'm gonna be back testing this for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the lifestyle comes with it. I'm gonna I'm gonna be driving a Porsche this week or maybe next week. Just for fun. I'm not buying one. I'm not just
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
so it comes with it. Uh, you know, $200 date night. I can do that.
Yeah.
Not every day, but once a week. Okay, it's
Yeah.
reasonable. It's within the means now.
Right.
So and it's like stay humble and live to trade the next day, and that's all it is. So yeah, man, it was really nice talking to you too. And if you have any questions about anything that you're studying or whatever, you can always like DM me, just like you've been doing or something like that. And then um, I don't get notifications on Telegram. I check it periodically, so I check it when I'm bored. But so
Yeah.
I'll try and turn your notifications on.
Okay, for sure, bro. Thanks, man. Thanks again. Thanks again, man. And I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. And shout out to my homie Austin
Yeah. Oh,
for the connection because I actually didn't know he traded. Me and him are a part of a community out here. We love to roller skate,
yeah.
and
Okay.
so that's how we know each other. And then on Instagram, I noticed that he was posting some options
Yeah.
results or something like that. I'm like, okay, I didn't know he was a trader too. And so we connected a little bit. I haven't really spoken that much in person about the trading stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah, he shouted out your group on his story. He
Mhm.
said you was letting people in,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Yeah, bro, you can go ahead and join in. I think would be good because you're way experienced and
Mhm.
people can see that. Blah blah blah. Whoopty woo." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll go ahead and check it out." So I'm here, and then I saw a video you posted.
Mhm.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but what I heard I liked, and he was talking about how like it's all about community.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's something that I can get behind. And
Yeah.
so, glad to be here. I may not be an active member within the community, but I'm a part of it now. I'm here, and hopefully, some of the information that was said today will be helpful. Hopefully, some of the conversation you heard today was entertaining,
Yeah.
and hopefully, the majority of it was enlightening and
Yeah.
inspiring. That's what we're here to do.
For sure, man. You just it's funny. It's a blessing, man. It's God's timing for real because there's so many things I was talking about behind the scenes. I was just telling a friend of mine. A lot of people, number one, you know, in terms of community leading. naturally I'm an introvert, right? So like I've had to understand the value of how to turn certain things on and channel certain, passion and things like that, where to keep people kind of like not interested, but keep them focused and remind them to like stay focused and stay consistent. And I've been that's part of me developing off the charts, right? It's easy for me to get on the charts, break some stuff down and make some money. But then when it comes to communicating that message to people who have all different type of personalities, different stories, different traumas, like you're saying, that's the part I find more challenging. But we've still been getting some great results. So I was like, man, like it's very rare that we don't see a plethora of community leaders who are really good at educating and communication. Some of them are very flamboyant. They have the lifestyle. They have these things that people go after, like you're saying, like credit card scamming and stuff. They make a lot of things look cool, and people are attracted to that. And especially, sad to say, a lot of time in our demographic. So when you're putting
Yeah,
forth,
I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't
you
gonna say it.
know,
I wasn't gonna say it. I wanted to earlier.
yeah.
You was asked. Uh,
So,
yeah, I know. It's unfortunate
yeah. So when you're highlighting the edge, like you're highlighting the real, it's like, yeah, that's all cool. But I just seen somebody, I just seen somebody run this play and it made them, and it's like, oh my God. So I always say you want to remain stupid but make smart money. It just don't work. It doesn't work like that. You're going to end up getting frustrated and hopping on to the next thing. So connecting with Jaron first, and Jaron bringing Austin. And then something just told me this past weekend was like, just this weekend only, open the community up for free because there's going to be some connection out there. I don't know who. It was a crazy faith move. I said it on the live. I said on the video. This is a crazy faith move. God, I'm trusting you. I don't know what's up. And then Austin adds you, and you are that second voice. And I was telling my friend, my business partner, I was like, the first voice is cool, but after a while, you can
to
hear
get
some,
numb to it.
yeah, tune it out. But it's that
Yeah,
second voice that if that brings that confluence, it's like, oh, I've heard this before, and now I'm hearing it in a different tone, and then that's when the message starts to stick. So it's like sometimes you're the one who plants the seed, sometimes the one who waters the plant. So I appreciate you because you're about to water a lot of plants, man. Like you're about to water a lot of plants, and the things that people are going to hear from this conversation is like, that's going to be that stick. That's going to be that point that really gets them to turn that corner on that thing that they were dealing with, you know?
for
So
sure.
I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. It was
Uh,
good talking to you. I'm about to go find me something to eat tonight.
yeah, likewise, bro. Like,
Alrighty.
man, you have a good one, man. Have a good
You
night.
too.
All right, man.
Yep. Bye bye.